record holder for the Guinness Book of Records.
So excited to be here with you all today. And
Do you have ADD? Do you have autism? What is it that you have?
actually, I was diagnosed with borderline autism at the age of 3. Because at the end of the day, jobs come and go, but friendships will always remain there for lifetime. Humans are more important than material things in this world.
Exactly. In India, as mortgage, tell us about that.
No matter how much you pray, no matter how much you go to church, how many sacrifices you do, and how many fastings you do during the season of Lent, if you do no good to others, you do nothing great.
What has made you so famous? Why are you such a famous guy? And you was just saying, okay, you were born on Thursday, you were born on a Monday. And, people were like shocked. Like, how does he even calculate so fast?
Actually, it wasn't in birds by.
But don't give up on the child.
But do not give up on the child
Hi, friends. Welcome back to the POD podcast. We have Johann with us, and he's an amazing young man. He's a record holder for the Guinness Book of Records. And without further ado, let's just get to know Johann. Hi, Johann. Welcome.
Thank you, Miss Gulshan. It's so excited to be here with you all today, and I'm so excited to be interviewed in a podcast, which is the first time ever for me, and I'm really proud to talk about myself and all about people of determination. Right, Miss Gulshan?
Yes, that's right. So let's begin. So Johann, what do you have? Do you have ADHD? Do you have ADD? Do you have autism? What is it that you have?
Actually, I was diagnosed with borderline autism at the age of 3, and that was the condition which my parents weren't aware of at that time. That's because at that time, no one was aware of autism or any kind of disease like that.
So how many years was that? How many years back was that?
That was 24 years back now, which no one was aware of, and lots of institutions didn't have any support or provide any support for people of determination.
So are you born in Dubai or are you born in India?
I was born and brought up in Dubai, UAE, and this is the place where I've done my schooling most of my life. Despite the higher education in high school, which I have done through distance learning in Mumbai.
Okay. So let's just go back to when you were young. When is your first memory of yourself? What do you remember?
The first memory of myself I would remember as a baby having porridge fed by my grandmother.
Okay.
Which I could barely remember onwards.
And then, do you remember being verbal or were you not able to speak?
Actually, I don't remember myself that much as a kid. I could only remember stuff from the age of 5 years onwards.
Okay. And when did you start going to school?
I started attending school at the age of 3 years and 3.5 years in April 2000.
So which school did you go to?
I went to GEMS Modern Academy, which used to be known as the Modern High School. And I could only study there for like a few years because of that. That's because at that time, there was no support or any learning support assistant, or what do you call these people? Like
the SEN department
they didn't
was
have
not there.
No one believed in inclusion at that time, and they didn't have any opportunities for people of determination, which is now a mandatory for all schools to have opportunities for people of determination, and these individuals must feel included as if they're like other students in the school. Like they should be granted admission, and for those who need that kind of support and help, they should always have their learning support assistant teachers or like teaching assistant who can help them out while they study.
So you wish you had it at that time?
Which I wish to have at that time. Although I had one, but that person wouldn't be so understanding or tolerant of an autistic individual.
So after modern high, you went to?
I went to an institution for a month, but there it was a very tough time because there were kids who would just gather together and bully me, and they would just come to
So
bully me.
after that, where did you go?
So then again, I was at home, but God worked a way for me. He found an institution for me called the Dubai Center for Special Needs. And that is the place where I've got support from my teachers, my friends, and lots of people around. First off, the main support I have got is always from my parents who have guided me in the right way and taught me the values of life. And they've never made me feel less than any other individual in this society. Like, they've always included me in social gatherings, encouraged me to interact with those I come across. And also, they've also taught me the differences of people of determination and normal people.
So how does autism hold you back in any way?
No, it doesn't hold me back in any way. Actually, what I can't barely remember, but I used to always be reminded by my parents about this. With this autism, I would have certain things that I wouldn't be able to understand. For example, if a biscuit was broken, I wouldn't eat it. If there was a holiday from school, I would cry, which means I wouldn't understand what a holiday was. I would just wake up in the morning and say, school, 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 which means it's time to go to school. So what my parents would do is they would drive me all the way to the school and show me that the gate and just take me towards the gates to let me know that it is a holiday. So they would remind me, show me that the gates are shut with a big lock, which means it is a holiday. No teachers and no friends are there. That is what they would do just to get me out of being
For you to understand
just
what.
to get me out of all this crying and encourage me to understand that that the meaning of a holiday is this. And second, another thing is, if I would ride in a bus or a car, let's say I'd go out in the car with my family or on a school bus. Now, I'd be used to traveling the same route, but for some reason, if we had to take a different route due to a diversion or something, I would cry, saying we should always go by that road.
So you wanted the same things happening in your life. You don't like any changes. You like the same routine
I
to be
would
followed.
always wanted the same routine.
And how is it now?
Now it's not like what it used to be before. It's changed completely.
How? How have you changed it?
Like, I have overcome it. I've got used to taking different routes for different reasons and for different aspects of life.
And so that's when I met you in Dubai Center for Special
Yes.
Needs.
We met
Yeah.
in the art room with the previous art teacher, Miss Lorna,
Yeah.
at that time.
And I remember you being the most talkative guy
Yes.
ever. I mean, you just spoke and spoke and spoke, and you just couldn't keep your mouth shut. Remember?
But my teacher was the one who stopped me at that
And-
point
and just
asked
tell
me to
us
focus
how-
on teachings.
How did she do
on
that? How did
painting.
I think she was an amazing teacher.
I had an Australian teacher, Miss Susan Hodge, at the time when I met Miss Gulshan. At that, she was the one who really impacted my behavior everywhere, the school bus and in the school.
And how did she do that?
What she did was she learned something from which everyone found was odd, but this was a thing which she did to, instead of getting angry and yelling at me, she would take a red circle and get it laminated. That was a place. That was a place of timeout for any students who misbehave or do any mistakes or do anything wrong at school for any bad behavior. This is a place for them to reflect on what they've done. Was it right or wrong? Was it right or wrong?
So the
red dot was kept there for them to stand over there and think about what they've done was right or wrong, and then go back to their desk. That was like a place of
Reflection.
for reflection, like a punishment, but to reflect on what they've done was wrong, whether if it was right or wrong, or if it was wrong only. But instead of reacting and getting angry.
And it worked.
And it did work out for me and for other students also. I'm sure it did work out for them. For me, on the school bus, she one day got a complaint from the school bus driver and the attendant that about me that I was using some inappropriate language without knowing the meaning. At that time, I wouldn't know the meaning of inappropriate languages and those certain words. So she just fought back for me and said, "You are guys keep complaining about me, but what are we doing as teachers?" So what she did was she would made a behavior chart, and at the end of the week, if there were 5 smiley faces, I would get a treat at McDonald's.
Wow.
As in addition to that, she also made a book, 2 books for me. One with "Stop Talking," because I would keep chattering as you mentioned earlier. I was very talkative nonstop, right? And another book with bad words, like what is the meaning of these words and how it affects the other person and why you mustn't use these words.
So it was when it was explained to you, you understood and you
Yes.
stopped doing it.
Also, in addition, she encouraged me to keep myself busy on the school bus by reading a book, reading the newspaper, looking outside the window, and listening to music, which would avoid me from distracting the bus driver and the attendant and the other peers on the bus.
Wonderful. So did you have friends in Dubai Center?
I had a few friends. Despite I have 2 good friends, one of them is my best friend.
Who?
That is Santiago Fraser, with whom he just came to school. He just joined the center on the first day. Then after a week or two, we started talking to each other and started conversing. Then later on, after 6 months, he invited me to his birthday party. That was 12 years ago, which is will complete on the 10th of February for our friendship. That was the day we started our friendship. So, and every Saturday we would go to play football every Saturday, and then I would spend the afternoon with him, either stay at his house or go out somewhere for some fun activity. So we've had that friendship, which we haven't, which has been strong for a while. We haven't been in touch because of certain reasons, like he's busy with work, and likewise for me. But that doesn't stop us from keeping our friendship strong, because at the end of the day, jobs come and go, but friendships will always remain there for lifetime. Humans are more important than material things in this world.
Exactly. So, I was speaking to your mom last evening, and she said there were so many instances where we allowed Johann to make mistakes and then to learn from them. So, do you remember any kind of mistake that you made? Do you remember? She said something about you taking a taxi on your...
Yes, I remember that the incident of taking a taxi to school without keeping my parents informed.
And how old were you?
And I was 17 years at that time, for which I got pocket money and I paid the taxi driver. So without keeping the parent informed. So that was an incident I remember. It was a mistake I did by not calling my parents and letting them know that I missed the bus, and instead took the taxi to school without keeping even the teacher informed at school. After a few days, we called up the head driver, and we also informed the teacher at school. So there was a head teacher, Miss Erica, who came and counseled me and kept me aware of the dangers and for taking a taxi to school without keeping the parent informed after missing a school bus.
So you've learned loads of life lessons in this form.
Yes, loads of life lessons I've learned from that.
And your parents have allowed you, okay, this is something that you're making a mistake, and then you learn from it.
Exactly. They, one thing, check on me when I do anything wrong. Because when I do wrong things, they want to always ensure that I do something correct, so I don't repeat that mistake again.
And so you finished with your school, and then what did you do?
I got myself employed at the National Bank of Ras Al Khaimah at the age of 19, while I also pursued my higher education in high school.
So you've completed high school.
Yes, I've completed that. I have done that while I was employed at Rack Bank. Yeah.
So, when you went from school straight into working, were you aware about, the work environment? How is it to be in a corporate field? How are your colleagues? They are not your friends like they were in school. Now you have to work with colleagues. How different was this whole atmosphere for you?
Well, at first, I would just be the same person like I used to be. Like I would go and say hello to everyone, and I would just go and talk to everyone, thinking they are just my friends, or it's like school. So until then, I was doing that until someone walked up to me, a coworker, a colleague of mine, letting me know that this is an office atmosphere, which is not like school. Everyone is busy with their work, and it's important to understand that they're busy attending meetings. Some of them have to finish a task, which is assigned by their superiors, which has to be completed in a given time frame. Otherwise, it can be a problem for the management and the entire team if they don't complete a certain target. So that is, for me, an office atmosphere was new for me at the time I started until I got used to some people. At that time, there were some humans, some employees who wouldn't understand what a person of determination, the behavior of an individual of determination. They would just make fun or say such things, use inappropriate languages to people of determination, and wouldn't understand how to deal with that person.
So, what do you think
Sorry.
for somebody new who's going into a workforce? What do you think they should do? Should they speak to the colleagues and tell them, listen, I have autism, this is what autism is, this is how you can handle a situation? Would you want something like that to happen in the workforce?
Yes, in the office atmosphere, if there's an employee with determination, the department must be briefed on information, must be briefed on about the individual with determination, that he or she has to be taken special care of, and must be very careful with a person like that who wouldn't be able to, they should be briefed that these individuals of determination are to be not are to be made are to be not be made feel less than than anyone else. They should be included and treated the same as every individual.
That's right.
Because nowadays, even people, even workout organizations are accepting people of determination, which is a mandatory by the UAE government,
So, is that a good thing,
which is
or
a very good thing. It is a very good thing.
so you are really grateful to the UAE government for
Yes, of course.
introducing this?
And I'm really grateful that the UAE has started this for people of determination, giving them opportunities to work, study, and not feel that they're less than anyone else. They should be treated as equal as every individual, and whatever opportunity he or she gets is like a blessing, I must say.
This is so wonderful. I know you are a devout Christian, and prayers is really important for you. So, do you ask your the God for to give you the put you on the right path, and what do you ask for?
Every day, when I drive to work, I always say the Lord's Prayer. What we call it is the Lord's Prayer, the Heavenly Father's Prayer. I always say that on when I drive to work, for a wonderful day, and for I thank Him for all the blessings that He has bestowed upon me, and all the blessings He's going to give me in the present and the future. So I always pray for Him for whatever I wish for and whatever I want to do in life. Now, prayers are not only the thing what I do, but it's also the good things I do to others, and the personality of myself. Like it's always important to be humble and help those who are in need, because the good things you do to others in this world, it always comes back to you. See, even our Holy Father, the head of the Roman Catholic Church that we go to for Mass, says, no matter what you do in this world, no matter how much you pray, we have a Holy Father named Pope Francis from Italy. He said in Rome, He says, no matter how much you pray, no matter how much you go to church, how many sacrifices you do, and how many fastings you do during the season of Lent, if you do no good to others, you do nothing great. And what things you do always, even if you pray also, you do you really mean what you're praying? Or are you just praying as a routine? Once the priest said that to me when I asked him for blessings for my exam. He asked me, you're just asking, you're taking blessings from me, but are you really studying for the exams? Because when you take blessings, it has to have a meaning. It's not like you just take blessings from him because he's a priest.
And Johan, when you first started your job at Rag Bank, you called me, and you said, from my first salary, I want to do something. I want to donate the first salary. Do you
Yep.
remember that?
Yes, of course, I do remember.
And the SFS support group that I run, you said, I want to give it to somebody there. And can you just share some light on that?
Uh, I don't mean to brag about it
No, but you should,
but
because it's such a
like Ms.
fantastic
Gulshan
thing.
says, I think it is really worth talking about it. It was for a boy named Barrows, right?
That's right.
Barrows, for a boy named Barrows who needed a special pair of shoes to help him walk and properly and me feel comfortable. So those shoes were donated for this boy who needed really something to feel comfortable with.
And how did that make you feel?
I really felt good that I did something for the society with my first income.
And you continue doing that. You continue making a difference.
And I continue doing it to those who are in need. Look, having a higher income and a higher position and a position which is top or whatever means nothing in this world, because at the end of the day, you're a human. But it's always important to treat those who are, to consider those who are less fortunate than you and who do not have the opportunity to celebrate and life and have the best of things which we all can have.
So, Johan, you are a single child, right?
Yes.
So there will be a day when your parents won't be there anymore.
Yes.
And what are your plans? How are you going to take care of yourself? Are you scared about the future? What are you thinking?
Well, being a single child, yes, I would feel lonely, but my parents have always, from now onwards, from the time I started I got this job at the bank,
Yeah.
they have taught me how to prepare me for the future to be individual, independent, in case if anything happens to one of them or both of them. I've seen such videos online where kids have been left all alone by themselves, but they haven't got the proper guidance from their parents, from their actual parents during childhood. Now that's because some parents have died in a car accident and never survived, or I'm sorry, some parents have like abandoned the children, like in these countries you see, like the US, Canada, etc. They're very particular about children who are who are left all alone. The child protection services, the social worker comes and takes the child to another adopted parent, and so it's important to understand that
So they have been training you to
they've been
live
training me to live
independently.
independently and teaching me the right values of life. So these videos which I was watching basically is about how some children are left alone by their parents, because some parents get sick at a young age. They have cancer, and the other parent is into having problems with drinking problems and some kind of behavioral problems that they can't look after the child. So the children are put in certain places where some parents are just being discriminated because of skin color and stuff. So that's what I'm really grateful to have lovely parents like this who have guided me in the right way and prepared me for the future if anything happens.
So have you ever stayed alone?
Yes, I have stayed alone twice.
And how was it?
It was a different kind of an experience, a bit boring, but I was able to manage it, looking after the house, going out on my own,
And cooking?
etc. Cooking, yes, I was able to cook my own meals.
And were you cleaning up and everything?
I was doing a bit of cleaning here and there, taking care of my stuff, my laundry. Like, not 100%, but I'm getting on the track so far, getting used to it when I'm
And
alone.
paying the bills and everything? Are you okay
Yes,
with that?
paying the bills is something that I can't even miss because, paying the bills is a very important thing. If you get if you get behind on bills, it's going to be a problem and you're going to be evicted from your apartment, which I don't want.
So
So,
you manage your financial, you manage,
yes, I have a rule and a regulation. On the first half of the month, my bills have to be paid.
and then do you save?
Yes, of course. I keep savings every month because you never know when the bad days come, and it's not bad days, but the days when you need that savings. That savings matter a lot to some people who cannot even afford to have the best of things that I can have and like my friends can have.
And
So
you are paying an EMI in India as mortgage. Tell us about that.
yes, of course, I had given some amount to my dad for a flat in India, which I'm helping him for. He did this for the purpose of my future. In case anything happens to them, then I have something in hand. And this is for getting it's like an investment which he did.
So when you go to Bombay and you have loads of cousins and friends there, what do you do there? How do you hang out with them?
I go out with them for uh, for fun, or we go out to some club. We either go out for a meal, or we just spend quality time in the house, chit chatting, having some coffee, or we just like
Coffee or beer?
whatever it is. It's just the fact that we have fun. We're there to see each other, or we
So
reunite.
when you go clubbing and they're drinking 6, 7 beers, do you do that as well?
No, no, no. I have a limit, and I've been warned that if I have excess, I can have. Yeah, I can get into it. Can affect my personality and my not only the personality and character, but it can also be like it can also affect my actions and words, which I have experienced. So I'm trying to stay out of it as much as possible.
But you do enjoy 1 or 2 beers.
Yeah. Whether it's with beer or without beers, I still have fun with my friends
That's good.
because beverages or whatever you consume is not everything. It's the fun that you have with your loved ones and friends and the quality time you spend with them. It's all about humanity.
And it feels good to be included
The
because a
matter,
lot of people have no friends and people of determination, they just don't have friends. They're just sitting at home.
yes, this relates me to another topic.
Okay.
People of determination who don't have friends reminds me of another friend of mine who always wants a friend, and actually, she's the one who always takes me out a lot, just so that she has a friend and a company. Her name is Hannah Ahmed.
And you like hanging out with Hannah.
Yes, actually, she got to know me through Santi. She
Okay.
saw me and Santi being best friends. So her mom walked up and asked, "Can you be friends with my daughter?" She also does she's got also Down syndrome just like Santi, but her style of art is so perfect that you won't believe how she is how she's able to design certain the caps that she made for a show.
Wow. And let's get into this conversation of what has made you so famous. Why are you such a famous guy?
That'll be a very hard question to answer, but how I've become famous is through a lot of lovely people around me. And yes, although I'm able to remember certain things like birthdays, geography. I don't mean to be too much about it, but there's but
So can you just I'm born on 16th of Jan 1964. So what day was it?
that was a Thursday you were born on, Miss Gulshan.
That's right.
And actually, it's Miss Gulshan who put me forward to become famous and go here and there.
Yeah, because I was in awe.
Who took the interest in me in the art room.
Yeah.
Now, as a volunteer and a student, see the difference between a volunteer and a student. Now, she just heard me talking something and she just took the interest in me and then put me forward to this. And
I remember it was at a corporate event and then in Bardubai in one of the hotels. And I said, there's this amazing guy. And then we just did it with the people sitting there. And you was just saying, okay, you were born on Thursday, you were born on a Monday. And, people were like shocked. Like, how does he even calculate so fast?
actually, it wasn't in Dubai. The
Okay.
place was in Dera at a hotel
Okay,
in
sorry,
2005 when I met.
But how,
I was a little
how
shy
do you
at the
do it?
time.
How do you do it?
Actually, it's a photographic memory that I had as a kid. When I was 6 years old on a holiday in Mumbai, I used to write the calendar on a notebook. Like every morning, my mother would remind me of the day of the week and the date. Also, she'd remind me of a certain date if it's important, if it's something special. And despite having me remember birthdays now, I would take the calendar and write it on a notebook. Then suddenly, my own parents never knew that I had an interest, a knack for numbers and dates. Whereas but my mom's brother, who used to be my godfather, unfortunately, he's no more. But he was the one who got to know of me having a knack for numbers and dates, for which he quizzed me on everyone's birthday and wedding anniversary of us and our family, and birthdays and wedding anniversaries of all our family members and other friends and relatives.
And my whole family birthdays.
Yes, I do.
Everybody.
So he got an interest and he started to flip through the pages on the computer to see if I was playing a trick on him or not. And I started memorizing the entire calendar for 2 centuries from 1900 and 2100, which is a special gift from God.
How? Imagine.
That's why the name Johann means God's gift.
Oh, it does? It's a beautiful name.
Yeah, thanks to my lovely parents who got that name for me from the Bible,
Wow.
which is a combination of my godfather, my uncle John, and my aunt Anna. That is my dad's sister. Okay. So one person from the mother's side, one from the father's side,
Johann.
which is a Dutch name that means God's gift.
Wonderful. And besides doing the calendar, what else do you do?
I'm able to remember capitals of countries and their national days. Now that I got into interest with a teacher at school. I had a Filipino teacher also named Mr. Arnel Rivera who had a map in the classroom. And then he started... he got this atlas and he would teach us the continents of the world. At that time, I started taking interest slowly on the continents, and I started learning the capitals of countries from an atlas which he had in the classroom. When he used to have an atlas, I took an interest going through the atlas at a library, which we had also in the library. Then I started remembering the country capitals, the national days, the flags and their currencies. He started to quiz me every morning. He also got enough challenges I had on the school bus, for which he helped me keep busy with an atlas. Later on, a driver of mine learned the capitals of countries. A driver, Mr. Khalid, he's now the head driver, he started learning the capitals of countries through me.
So it's not only that you learn, you share your knowledge with everybody.
And then he started learning through me and remembering. He actually knew some capitals of countries.
So what is your passion now? What are you learning now?
In what terms?
In you did the countries and the capitals, and so is there anything new that you're doing now? Or
not lately, but I'm also... I have a few hobbies which I'm really passionate about. Like now I'm just... I've got to learn driving, which is 2 years, which is exactly going to be 2 years on the 8th of next month. But I'm still on that under the supervision until I gain that confidence on the road.
But you have a license.
For which yes, I do. For which I'm just watching a few videos and observing a few people whilst driving.
So would you ever drive over the speed limit?
No, I would never drive over the speed limit unless if I'm if I have to change lanes or something, which is fine. But again, I'm following the rules and regulations of the Roads and Transport
And
Authority.
would you drive without a seatbelt ever?
No, no, no. Including myself, I'll ensure that all passengers are buckled up
Even at
when
the
I'm
back.
driving. At the back also. So yes, of course.
And then people feel, oh, people with autism are driving. Are they going to be safe? I think y'all are one of the most
I
safe
thought I would
drivers.
never be a safe driver. I thought I would drive very fast on speed. But with the practice and with patience and watching of videos, I think I'm really confident for driving, for which I don't want to, make driving as a right. For me, driving is like a privilege to have a license because it's all about safety, not about having a fancy car, be it a BMW, a Tesla, or GMC, whatever car it is. It's all about the safety on the road and the safety of other passengers with you. One small mistake can create a significant accident and affect how many lives,
Yeah, and we don't want that.
which we don't want that. I was told by my instructor when I was learning driving
And how long did it take for you to get the license?
about 6 months in 2 attempts.
That's good. That's like most people. So you had learned all the signs and everything.
Road signs, and I make this a habit. Even my father says this is not required when you're at a place where when you're on a particular junction and the road is going left or right, it's going in one direction. You don't need to put the indicator on. But whenever I take a turn, I make it a habit to turn the indicator on everywhere.
Good. That's so
It's
required.
like a habit.
Yeah.
Even though it's not required in a parking, I still turn on the indicator when I'm taking a left at the signal also, or a U-turn, whatever, just to indicate the other passengers at the back, other drivers at the back, that I'm taking a turn or a U-turn.
So have you ever been in an accident?
Fortunately, I haven't been in an accident, and never I wish for
Good.
that.
Thank
I wish
God.
to be a safe driver,
Wonderful.
which I'm looking forward to driving alone soon.
Inshallah, it will happen. Now, just tell me, have you ever been in love?
No, I have never been in love till today.
But have you had a crush on somebody?
No, I have liked someone. I've liked a few people, but they're not my life partners. My life partner will be the person, the right person at the right place and right time. Despite her good looks and her being looking pretty, is not her personality is the thing that will matter the most to me. She should be a person who believes in me during my good and the bad times, not there for the material things.
And you believe she's there somewhere.
Yes, that'll be considered as the person who believes me during the good and bad times, but she's only the one who is she'll be the one who is like a true friend.
I hope you find her soon.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And you want to move to another country, right?
Yes, my dad always told me about immigration to countries, and we've experienced it when we traveled to Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. From that, my wish has always been to immigrate to Australia, basically for higher education purposes and for immigration and for life over there, so it can obtain a citizenship and.
And you can live there forever.
Yes, of course. I've always loved to go there. I was so happy when I arrived at Melbourne City and sad when I would leave Melbourne.
Oh,
Dubai is my home, of course, being born here, but I've always loved the life and culture. Yeah, although I've been for a holiday. When you're going holidaying and immigration are totally two different things. When you live in the country, you will know what happens later on. But I've always learned it from a few friends and few people looking at. Actually, when we were holidaying in Melbourne, we saw two kids from school traveling on their own by tram and metro to McDonald's for lunch. Like the school bus is not in charge of them. They have to travel on their own by the public transport. At that time, 12 years back in 2011. We went there for a holiday and we noticed even our friends whom we stayed with, their daughters were traveling on their own by bus and by
but it's
which
happening.
is
It's happening in
which
Dubai
wasn't
as well.
existing in Dubai at that time. Is it existing in Dubai also now?
Yeah. People are just traveling on their own. People of determination. They do travel on their own. it is such a safe country.
They
You
do
know,
travel on their own. The thing is, here there's a lot of comfort. In those countries, they do give comfort, but the kids have the students have been taught the hard ways, like they're not pampered and getting all the things. There's a limit to certain things.
but I think from all the countries in the world,
Yes.
UAE is definitely the most disabled friendly.
What friendly?
Disabled friendly. So there are ramps everywhere, for people who are using the wheelchair. There's so much information.
I think they have adopted this from all these other countries in the world and observing
I think
certain
other
things.
countries are adopting from UAE now.
That's
Seriously.
can't say much, but I have experienced it. Like when I went for my driving, also my instructor was talking about all about how the driving rules have adapted from other countries when taking turns. So I've learned a few things that
So, Johan, before we end, I just want you to share what is your message to the public or to the world? What is your message? Someone who is on the spectrum.
I would say that all individuals of whatever condition they're born with or whatever they have should be felt that they're included as any other individual in this society, in this world.
And what's your message to a parent who's just finding out that their child has autism?
They should first of all sit with the child, understand what his condition is, his or her condition is. Like, don't just retaliate or just do or say such things. Think about it first. Like, why is he behaving like this? Why is he doing such stuff like that? Does he have a problem? What is his condition like?
So he has
Talk
autism.
to him,
Yeah.
take him to a counselor or something, or counsel him at home itself.
But don't give up on the child.
But do not give up on the child or just be busy with your own life. You should always, your child is the most priority. If you may separate from your partner, that's not a problem, but your child is the most important thing.
Thank you. And on that note, we will end. So thank you so much, Johan, for being here.
My pleasure, Ms. Gulshan. And thank you for having me on the podcast today.
How was it? How was the experience?
I was not. I feel that my English words were not so polished, and despite having the accent, it's not so. Which Ms. Gulshan always says, it's not so. She's always taken up by my accent, right?
Yeah, I love it.
But it's not like I didn't feel. I felt like some words were not put properly because I'm not able to converse them on my own.
But
and
you were
But in very
brilliant.
simple, I was like conversing them.
No, let me just tell you, you were absolutely brilliant. I loved it. And I think the people who will be watching you will love you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Gulshan. It's really a pleasure.
Thank you.